Hello and welcome to my channel, Inviting Possibilities Tarot. My name is Rochelle and I am here to do a reading. I felt inspired. I have been in kind of a silly mood today and it's felt quite nice. It's been a nice change from the moods of late. Excuse me. Especially with all this throat clearing. I would love for that to stop. But yeah, I was thinking about the idea of playfulness. I've been feeling quite playful this morning. And I love this feeling. And occasionally I will choose cards that talk about playfulness. And I had a friend mention recently that as a child, she wasn't really allowed to play. She, from the moment she could stand, she had to work. She was doing chores, she was raising her siblings, she was just doing all the things. Play was not an option. And she said, something along the lines of, I don't even know what it means to be playful. What is that even? What is that? It's not something that, and I think she is quite playful actually. But when you don't have something to fall back on because you didn't experience that, you kind of end up either feeling like, well, his playfulness is just not for me because I just don't even know what that means. Or you kind of just make it up. And that's kind of, I think that's kind of the point. Excuse me. Let me drink some tea. Is that we get the experiences we get as children. And as adults, it's our job to kind of rewrite, reprogram, fill in the gaps, anything that is less than awesome. We'll just say that. So, so I wanted to pull some cards about playfulness. And I just, for anybody who struggles with the idea of playfulness, of how do you be playful? What do you do? Just kind of ask the cards, ask the universe through the cards. What can we all focus more on to help us get into a more playful state? Because even if we know how to be playful, if we're feeling really serious and life is really chaotic and crazy and heavy, kind of like it is right now, it can be challenging to find that playful part of us, that playful place inside of us. So so I'm going to start with the Radical Abundance deck, one of my most playful decks. What can we focus more on? I just said more on. That's my own little brand of being playful. I am perpetually 14 years old. And I have an interesting sense of humor sometimes. All right, so we've got perspective. Giant mouse, little elephant. There is a change of perspective. I think it's sort of, it's like how a lot of comedians approach comedy, where they take something that is pretty darn crappy and they find the humor in it, the absurdity. They're able to twist it around, turn it on its head, so that it's not something that takes you down, but it's something that you can laugh about and rise up, in spite of and because of, even. So this perspective, it's a perspective change, and well, let me get another one. Inspiration. The Wizard of Inspiration. We've got the acorn. He's holding up the little acorn. And this speaks to that perspective as well. It's like, you know, a giant tree comes out of this little thing that you can hold in your hand. And what can you grow that is fun, that feels fun to you at this moment? Because playfulness is rooted in that feeling of having fun. We all have our different things that feel fun. In this instance, we're not talking about I want to, let's see, how do I say it? It's like, okay, so for me, there are times when I like to, say, watch a movie or get on my phone and play games. And that can be fun. But it's not necessarily playful. It's, in a way, it's sort of more of a, it's a way to relax my brain but there's also a little bit of checking out when I'm doing that. And playfulness, there's being, it's how do I say it? Being engaged in whatever you're doing, even if it's something very mundane. It's changing that perspective and feeling inspired, or letting yourself be inspired to see it in a new way, to do something in a new way, to laugh at things that you don't normally laugh at, because of that change in perspective. Whoa. Change in perspective. Okay. So yeah, you take something like that, all of a sudden something happens. What you had planned and set up gets knocked askew, and you have to like shift yourself. change how you do things, change yourself physically or mentally, emotionally, all that. It's funny. Trust. Yeah. See, I'm spitting all over my cards. Trusting that it's okay to be playful. Being playful is allowing yourself to be authentic, to do things that are fun for you. Not everybody has the same ideas of what fun and playfulness even is. But it's something that is inspiring to you, that it's also, I think this trust partially has to do with, okay, it's a couple things. So letting yourself be in an environment where you feel like you can trust others to be playful, to be yourself in whatever way you show up. And there's also that see, I mean, just watch cats and dogs and animals. Like they play all the time. And there's like countless videos on YouTube and on the internet that you can find of examples of playfulness. But this trust is like trusting that if you are having trouble accessing that playful side, that you can figure it out. You can find that inspiration somehow. And you might need you might need a little help. For example, this morning, a part of what helped my playful mood was I was on Pinterest. And this is a place I go typically when I'm looking for things that make me laugh. And I use it for other things as well, of course. But I have a board of hilarity that I like to add to on a regular basis. And then I like to go back and look at and revisit on a fairly regular basis. And other things too. And it's like, and then I share these things with my friends because I'm like, oh yeah, this is actually really appropriate right now. You know, and it's, some stuff is very much, it's a commentary on the absurd and what is so dang ridiculous about this world we live in, about being human, you know, all the things that we bump up against. And finding a way to laugh at it, to see what's funny, to see the, I don't know, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but yeah, ultimately finding the levity, the absurdity, and laughing at it. So oh, you know what? I want to use my oracle. I think it's the Modern Life Oracle, something like that. What can either hold you back or boost you in the realm of playfulness? Could be either one. Let's see what these have to say. Social battery drained in reverse. That's what holds you back. Overextending yourself, making too many plans, saying yes to too many things that you don't want to say yes to. Even if you do, not taking time for yourself to just rest and care for yourself. There's a big energy right now in the collective of self-care, figuring out what that means. And it's not just about, like, you know, taking a bath or, you know, like it can be so many things. And sometimes it's like, okay, sometimes it is, I just need to hang out at home and not go and extend myself, and I'm going to Netflix and chill. We've got professional binge watcher, but then you don't want to overdo the Netflix and chill either. Good, because that can take you away from yourself. So it's almost like, you know, you might need to forego the plans to go out and stay home, and rather than check out and Netflix and chill, put on some music and have a little dance party in your living room. Find something you can do that is where you are engaged. Maybe it's some kind of hobby that you enjoy doing. Maybe it's exercising, dancing, like whatever that looks like. It's something where you are, I think movement may be very, very important here, at least for some people, because our bodies are made to move, and too many of us sit more than we should, more than is good, healthy for us. So it could even be like deciding to rearrange your space, or going through some stuff and decluttering, putting on some music, singing, throwing on some comedy, like listening to it as you do something that is enjoyable. So sorry about my throat. I swear every day I'm like, Today's the day. I will be done with this throat clearing. It's gone on for so long. It's insane. And then we've got influencer wannabe in reverse. Which speaks to, it's the idea of trying to be something that you're not, trying to being an influencer, generally speaking, you're showing up as yourself and you're doing something that you enjoy, that you love, that naturally draws people in because you're an expert, you're good at it, you have fun, it's enjoyable. To be an influencer wannabe, especially in reverse, you're not actually, it's like you're doing something because you feel you're trying to follow what others have done or are doing and not doing what you want to do. I think this is that social battery drained piece. There's like something about feeling like you're shooting on yourself and needing to step back and reassess, like, why do you feel you need to influence anyone? Why do you feel you need to show up or follow in others' footsteps or do anything at all? I mean, yes, there are some things we have to do because, life requires it. We got to go work a job because we need the money to pay for our stuff, our bills, but again, we're talking about having fun and playfulness. And remember too, playfulness isn't just you can infuse any situation with a sense of playfulness, even things that you don't necessarily enjoy, like housework, even going to work. But doing it in a way where you don't feel like you're trying to fit yourself to the mold. I'm getting like, square peg in a round hole. Like, you can pretty much tell when something feels right and when it doesn't. And if you are trying to be something you're not, it's not going to work for you. It may, I don't know, maybe you'll get the interest, the attention that you seek from doing that, but it's temporary, and there's not a lot of substance there. So this is about focusing on you, focusing on your unique, the things that you enjoy, that are unique to you, and not trying to follow what anyone else is doing, forging your own path and turning off the screens, which can be tricky, but somehow that's, even if you just give yourself a period of time. Okay, I'm gonna spend an hour focusing on whatever else that is not screens. I'm not going to be putting myself out there. I'm focusing on myself, what I want to do, and doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It's what feels good to me. Pretty simple, yeah? Simple, not easy. Not always, anyway. So I was going to make this kind of short. It's already at 20 minutes. I'm going to get some cards from the Gateway of Light activation. Right? Yeah, sure. Why not? Earth Star activation, anchoring grounded action and Isis energy. Isis energy has been coming up a lot lately. Just not only this card, but in life in general. Several people have been mentioning Isis. So that might be something to look up, to spend some time in that energy, with that energy. But ultimately, grounded action, like I said, action, like doing something physical, not just sitting and checking out. Anchoring yourself. What can you do that makes you feel solid in who you are and what you're doing? Taking grounded action. Grounded action is like having a purpose and going for something, going for what you want. Venusian Galactic Council, star being guides, answer the call, time to shine. Yeah, you are being supported by your team of spirit guides. And they've been calling to you for a while. You've been getting nudges. This isn't the first time. It is time to shine. It is time to fly that freak flag that is unique to you and only you. And rise up with those of us who are also flying ours. Sacred inner space, sacral chakra, tenderness, and sensuality, which is all about getting into your body. Sensuality. Sensuality is often kind of equated with sexual things, but sensuality is experiencing what it feels like to be in your body and experiencing all the senses. All the things through your senses, through the physical experience of being human. And that is where inspiration comes from. That's that sacral chakra. That's your second chakra. That is, it's your place of creativity and inspiration. And like, I believe that is where playfulness is born. Because in the first chakra, it's your place, it's your sense of security. It's your foundation. It's what you need to feel safe and secure. Once you have that in place, then you can start to be playful. And so that's when you come up to the second chakra and you can start to kind of get into, being more artistic, being more, experiencing more enjoyment from just being alive once your basic needs are met. And tenderness also speaks to like being tender with yourself, and maybe, I don't know, I mean, you could have the things you like to do that you feel are kind of weird, that you feel aren't acceptable, and maybe you've been told that. And this is about being tender with that part of yourself that just wants to like start moving in a weird way. It makes me think of I think it's the movie Garden State with people. Natalie Portman, her character is like, do you ever just like move your body in a weird way? And they do this whole thing like where they're moving their bodies weird. And that's a part of this. This is a part of the playfulness, is this kind of spontaneous, like, actually, I love that I thought of that, because that character, that Natalie Portman character, is very good at being playful. Like, I forget, I think she has like epilepsy or something, and she has to wear a helmet. She carries a helmet around with her, but she makes the most of her situation, and she kind of embraces every moment and is like, how can we make this more fun? What can we do? Like there's a sense of curiosity and leaning in. So anyway, there's that tenderness of like being tender with yourself, with others who want to show up in their unique ways. I don't know. I mean, I would say, I would venture to say, because the thought that came to mind is maybe you could have like a dance party with, you know, your trusted favorite people. Not a lot, just like the ones who are in your innermost circle and who do not drain you, who are not the energy vampires in your life, but actually give back. And you guys have like, I don't know, have like a dance party where you make up the weirdest moves you can think of. And like, I don't know. I mean, when I was a kid, we used to we would make up whole routines to our favorite song. So make up whole routines, but then like do it strange. Makes me think of Monty Python. They have a skit of, it's like Department of Weird Walks or something, walking strange. Anyway, there's all kinds of things out there to inspire you. So lean into your weirdness, because that's where you get to mine all the things that it helps. Let's see, how do I say it? That's where the opportunity is to mine all the ways of being playful, because being playful inherently is being weird. If you're not being weird, then you're kind of just being normal. And what kind of fun is that, right? So anyway, let me finish. I'll finish with a chakra card. Not as short as I thought it would be, but that's okay. I'm doing it because I love it. All right. So we've got throat chakra, communication. I communicate with others in healthy and meaningful ways. My communications are constructive, honest, and purposeful. I communicate with respect, positive regard, and an intention of growth for all. I collaborate and cooperate. I love that this came out. I'm glad that I talked about, like, you know, getting together with your inner circle and letting your freak flags fly together. Say that 3 times fast. Because being able to communicate what's most important to you and allowing others to do that, and having respect and positive regard within that safety, that safe space, it leads to positive growth for everyone involved. So it's a great way to end. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful and playful rest of your day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you on the next video. Mwah. And thanks so much for hitting that like button and subscribing if you feel like it.